Danger. Engaging.
Overwatch 2's PvP October 4th release date is fast approaching, and more details about launch and beyond have been revealed. Today, Overwatch 2's Game Director Aaron Keller joins us to talk about what we can expect to keep us busy once Overwatch 2's content map drops. Aaron, good to see you again.
Hi Stella, I'm so excited to talk to you today.
So with Overwatch 2, you decided to go with a free-to-play model for PvP. So what fueled that change up from Overwatch 1?
Yeah, I think free-to-play allows us to do a lot of things with the game. It gives us more freedom in the way we release things. And it also kind of gives us more opportunity to make more for the game. When you think about the difference between a free-to-play live service game versus something you buy in a box, is a free-to-play game, it's always requiring new content and new things to be added to the game. And that's actually a value that we have and a goal that we have for Overwatch 2, is to constantly be updating the game. We want to be making new heroes. We want to be making new maps and new game modes and all of the cool, exciting things that we'll be putting into the Battle Pass. And all of those things fit really well into a free-to-play game. And then on top of that, Overwatch, it's always been a universe where everyone is welcome. We want you to be able to play this game with all of your friends without any sort of barrier to entry there. The game, it requires teamwork and strategy and cooperation. And so we feel like the best Overwatch experience is one that you get to play with all of your friends.
So I know this is probably really locked up tight, but is there anything at all that you can give us to tell us about the new support hero?
We've really just teased it, and we'll definitely go into more detail about this particular person later. We have released some footage where you might not see the hero, but you might see some of the effects of that hero's abilities. So if you look closely, you'll be able to glean a little bit of information from those videos.
Ooh, cool. Okay, little Easter eggs. I like it.
Yeah, there'll be a lot that goes into every one of our seasons, and it's not just about the Battle Pass. I think one of the really exciting things for Overwatch 2 and the exciting thing about Overwatch 2 going free to play is that the team is committed to making so much more content than we ever have before and releasing it on a seasonal basis. So there'll be things in the Battle Pass, there'll be things in the shop, but there's also going to be all of this other content. There's going to be new heroes, new maps, and new game modes that are all a part of this seasonal content.
Cool. And I know that there's a new skin collection that's called the Mythic skin, which you can actually customize. So is this similar to how you unlock golden weapons from Overwatch 1?
Mythic skins are actually really exciting. It's a whole new tier of cosmetic that we have. One of the great things about them is they're customizable, and so you can turn on or off or use some different options for each of the skins. And the first one that we're launching with, this Mythic Genji skin, it's like this sort of like cyberpunk skin where he's got like multiple different weapons that you can equip. There's different colors that you can kind of like cycle through on the skin. He's got all these like really cool tattoos on his arms, and then he has this mask on. When he activates his ultimate ability, the mask actually opens up and like the face is all glowing and it looks like so incredibly cool.
That's so cool. I was actually going to ask if any of these skins are reactive, which it seems like they are according to like ultimates and stuff, so that's really cool.
Yeah, it's so exciting, and there's more of these to come too, and I think each one we do will probably get better and better as we make more of them.
So with talking about seasons and battle passes and such, will each season be themed?
Yeah, the idea right now is to have themes to each of the seasons. And earlier when I talked about our Mythic Genji skin, I described it as like a cyberpunk skin, that we like to mix it up a little bit and we like to throw some surprises in there. And it's just because there's like so many different things that I think there's a lot of different stories that we can tell and a lot of ways that we can make them seem cool. So yes, our seasons will have themes, but there'll also be a lot of other cool things going on in each of them.
Speaking of the PvP launch, which is October 4th, so there's the beta that's coming out. Is that going to be fully crossplay?
Yeah, that's one of like the really exciting things about the beta that's coming. It's I think it's going live on June 28th, and it'll be on both Sony and Microsoft consoles, and crossplay will be enabled for it.
Will progression carry over from the beta?
No, progression will not carry over from the beta. But I think one of the really interesting things about the way that we're releasing Overwatch 2 is that everything you have earned in Overwatch 1 will carry over to Overwatch 2.
So, Junker Queen has been heavily involved in lore snippets throughout the game's past, such as her disdain for Omnix and her major beef with Roadhog and Junkrat, seeing as she once ordered their assassination. Has their relationship changed to bring her into the game, or is she going to be gunning for them specifically?
To go into it a little bit, she's our newest tank hero. And she was totally designed for our 5v5 combat, which is new to Overwatch 2. And so she has her moveset, like, it allows her to get in close to the enemy team. And that's where she's most effective, is when she's kind of like brawling amongst like 1 to like all 5 of the enemy team. Her primary weapon is a shotgun, so it's a short range weapon. And she also is carrying around this like massive axe. And she uses it, like, she'll do a big swing into people, and when she hits people with it, it applies a wound to them. And every time she causes damage by wounding somebody else, she receives that as healing, and it can give her overhealth as well. And so she does that with her axe, and she also has this knife that she can throw. And she'll throw it, and you can hit other players with it, but if you miss, or if you intentionally miss, it can stick into the environment. And then one of the unique things about Junker Queen is she has this electromagnetic gauntlet. And you can activate it when your knife is out, and it'll pull it back to you. And if it's sticking in another player, it'll pull it to you, do extra damage to them, and also pull them forward. It has like a knockback effect on it. And if it's in the environment, it'll come back to you and it'll pierce every enemy along the way. And every one you hit, it applies a wound, and you get extra health because of it. And then lastly, her ultimate ability, she activates the gauntlet. She gets like kind of like a rain of metallic debris around her and all of her axes, and she charges forward really quickly. It'll apply a wound to everybody it hits. It stops healing on everybody that it hits, and then it gives her a bunch of health at the same time.
Okay, so she is kind of like the ultimate tank to come into Overwatch 2. That's amazing. How much of the stuff that you saw players do from those alpha and beta tests, how much of that was applied to this new beta that's coming out that's going to be crossplay?
You wouldn't think so, but metas develop internally on a development team. We had our own way of playing 5v5, and then as soon as you put it into the hands of the public, it starts evolving from there, and it starts going in different directions. And so we learned a lot, and one of the big things we learned is that the support heroes in the original alpha and beta, they just felt a little bit underpowered. They felt exposed. I've said, like, our support heroes felt unsupported, you know? And so it's one of the things that we've really taken a look at, and we're working through either individual ability tweaks on them, different tuning things, and sometimes things that we'll do across the board for all of the supports, like either a change to the role passive or additional role passives. Some of those will be in this beta. Some of those will be added partway through this beta, because one of the things we like to do is make changes as rapidly as we can to the betas so that we can continue to improve the game. And then some of those might not make it until we launch the game on October 4th.
Okay, cool. I'm so glad that it's kind of this ever-changing process, which is great. And October 4th can't get here fast enough. So I have one last question to help fans get to know you better. Who is your main, or someone that you love playing right now?
So on the Overwatch team, especially on the design team, we tell each other you're not allowed to have a favorite hero. And there's a few reasons for it. One, we don't want our community to think that we're favoring one hero over the other. And then also, like, it's good as a designer to be playing as much of the roster as possible. I do naturally gravitate to certain heroes. I am better at heroes that don't require a really high degree of aim skill. I'm not the best Widowmaker player. I am not the best Ashe player. I've done a lot of level design on Overwatch, so I know what it means to try to build spaces for those heroes and how to provide opportunities for them. I am just not the type of player that can take advantage of some of those opportunities.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for being here and talking to me about Overwatch 2 and showing us what to expect, especially since it'll be releasing with its PvP on October 4th.
Thank you, Stella.
Now or never. Never tell me the odds. I already know them.